Picture a lake at midnight, its surface a perfect mirror, undisturbed by even a whisper of wind. The stars above blaze in reflection, each one a truth, a dream, a hidden piece of you. But now imagine a storm of pebbles raining down every thought, every opinion, every notification, shattering the stillness. The stars vanish. Your clarity is gone. This, my friend, is the tyranny of noise, the chaos that steals your focus and buries your inner guidance. In a world screaming for your attention, silence is not just a luxury, it's your secret weapon. It's time to reclaim it. You stand at the edge of transformation, and the first step is to quiet the storm. Let's dive into the battle against noise and uncover the power of stillness where your truest self waits to be revealed. You're a young professional, ambitious, and driven with a vision burning in your chest. You've got plans, big ones, a business to launch, a skill to master, a life to build. But every morning before your coffee even cools, your phone buzzes. You unlock it just for a second and tumble into the endless scroll. Social media feeds you a parade of perfection, someone's new car, another's exotic vacation, a colleague's promotion. Your heart sinks. Why aren't I there yet, you mutter. Hours slip by as you compare, critique, and question. Your goals, once sharp as a blade, blur into a fog of doubt. The noise of others' lives drowns out your own voice. You forget why you started. You lose your way. Days turn into weeks, and you're still scrolling, still sinking. One night, exhausted, you put the phone down. You sit in the dark, no screens, no sounds, just you. And in that silence, something shifts. It's as if the lake of your mind, once roiled by endless waves, grows still. A single star reflects a memory of why you began. You wanted to create, not compare. You wanted impact, not applause. In that quiet, you see it clearly. Noise stole your focus, but silence returns it. You pick up a notebook, write one goal, and take one step. The scroll no longer owns you. As Stephen R. Covey wrote in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, begin with the end in mind. Silence helped you see that end again. The lesson is raw, and real noise is a thief slipping into your life through screens and comparisons, robbing you of clarity. But when you step into silence like a still lake, reflecting the stars, you rediscover your hidden truths. You find your path. The takeaway is clear: silence is your shield against the chaos, your tool to reclaim what matters. Now imagine you're a parent standing at a crossroads. Your child struggles in school and you're desperate to help. Do you push for tutoring? Change schools? Seek professional advice? You don't know, so you ask. Friends, family, online forums, everyone has an opinion. You're too soft, says one. You're pushing too hard, counters another. Have you tried this method? What about that program? The voices pile up like a storm of locusts, buzzing in your ears, clouding your judgment. You lie awake at night, paralyzed by the weight of their words. You want to decide, but the noise of endless advice traps you in indecision. Your gut, that quiet instinct, is buried beneath the clamor. One day, overwhelmed, you walk away from it all. You sit in your backyard, the world hushed, the voices muted. No phone, no chatter, just the rustle of leaves. In that silence, the lake of your mind settles. A star glimmers, a memory of your child's laugh, a moment of trust. You realize you know them better than anyone. The answer isn't in the crowd, it's in you. You choose a path not because it's popular, but because it feels right. Silence gave you that clarity. As Brené Brown reminds us in Daring Greatly, courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. In silence, you showed up for yourself. The truth cuts deep. Noise from others, even well-meaning, can shackle you to doubt. But silence, that still lake, reflects your inner wisdom. It frees you to act. The takeaway: shines through silence isn't emptiness, it's the space where your truest decisions are born. Let's step back, you and I, and look at the chaos we've built. Noise isn't just sound, it's the storm that rages in your mind and heart. It's the barrage of opinions telling you who to be. It's the distractions pulling you from your purpose. It's the self-doubt whispering you're not enough. This storm churns the lake of your soul, hiding the stars, those guiding lights of truth and vision. How many times have you let the noise decide for you? How many dreams have you shelved because the clamor convinced you they're impossible? Think of your life as a vast, untamed wilderness. Noise is the wind howling through the trees, obscuring the path. You can't see where to step next. But silence, Oh, silence is the moment the wind dies and the forest stills. You hear your own breath, your own heartbeat. You see the trail ahead marked by your deepest desires. Silence isn't running from the world. It's standing firm in it, letting the storm pass so you can see the stars. It's in these quiet moments that you uncover what's real, what's yours. Noise builds walls. Silence tears them down. Will you let the storm rule you, or will you seek the stillness that reveals your way? Noise doesn't always come from outside. Sometimes it's the loudest within. It's the voice of doubt replaying your failures like a broken record. You can't do this, it sneers. You've tried and fallen before. It's a relentless echo drowning out your courage. This inner noise is a saboteur turning the lake of your mind into a churning mess. The stars of your potential vanish beneath its waves. Have you ever stopped to ask, why do I listen to this voice more than my own strength? Consider a ship lost in a tempest, battered by waves of self-criticism. Noise is the gale pushing you off course, but silence is the calm after when the sea mirrors the sky and you see the constellation that points north. In silence, you hear a different voice, not the critic, but the captain. It's the part of you that knows you've survived storms before, that you're built to endure. Silence lets you reclaim that voice. It's not about ignoring your flaws. It's about seeing beyond them to the unshakable core of who you are. You don't silence doubt by shouting over it. You do it by listening deeper to the quiet truth beneath. So will you keep wrestling with the noise, or will you anchor yourself in stillness? Let's get real right now. The noise of the world's social media opinions, distractions won't stop on its own. You have to stop it. Start with a simple act. Carve out 10 minutes today, just 10, where you disconnect. Turn off your phone, step away from the screen, and sit somewhere quiet. No music, no chatter, just you. Notice the urge to check, to scroll, to fill the void. Don't give in. Let the lake of your mind settle. Ask yourself, what do I want, not what do others expect? Write down one thought that surfaces, one truth. This is your star, your guide. Make this a ritual. Each day, expand that silence by a minute or two. Use it to refocus on your goals, not the world's demands. When the noise creeps back, and it will pause. Breathe. Remember the stillness. As Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow, rich desire is the starting point of all achievement. Silence lets you reconnect with that desire untainted by external chaos. You're not hiding from life. You're choosing which parts to let in. Take control. Start now. The world can wait. The noise inside, doubt, fear, second guessing can be just as loud. Here's how you quiet it. When that critical voice starts its rant, stop. Don't argue with it. Don't feed it. Instead, find a quiet space, even if it's just a corner of your room. Close your eyes. Take 5 slow breaths. Let the storm of thoughts pass like clouds over a lake. Then ask, what's one thing I've done right? One strength I've shown. Write it down. Read it aloud. This isn't arrogance. It's anchoring yourself in truth. Repeat this daily, especially when doubt strikes. Build a list of your wins, big or small. Silence isn't about ignoring the critic. It's about giving your true voice the stage. Let it speak. Let it guide. You're stronger than the noise in your head, but you have to listen past it. Start with those 5 breaths. Start today. The stars of your potential are waiting to shine through. You've walked through the storm of noise with me, felt its weight, and seen how it steals your clarity through endless comparisons, suffocating advice, and the relentless chatter of doubt. But you've also glimpsed the power of silence, that still lake reflecting the stars of your hidden truths and inner guidance. The takeaway burns. Bright silence is not weakness or retreat. It's your secret weapon to cut through the chaos and reclaim your focus. You don't need the world's permission to choose your path. You need the quiet to hear your own voice. As we move forward, remember that this battle against noise is just the beginning. There's more to uncover about how silence can forge strength, sharpen vision, and build unshakable success. For now, hold this truth close. Step into the stillness. Let the lake of your mind clear. See the stars. They've been there all along, waiting for you to look. Final mantra: be still. Your stars will guide you. Picture this: a mountain towering and ancient, rooted deep into the earth. A storm rages around it, winds howl. Lightning cracks, rain pelts its unyielding face. Yet the mountain stands unshaken, unmoved its silence, a defiant roar against the chaos. You are that mountain. In the tempests of life, when criticism stings, when pressure threatens to shatter your resolve, silence is your strength. It is not the absence of sound, but the presence of power, a quiet force that anchors you when the world screams for you to break. Welcome to the heart of our journey in the secret weapon of the successful silence. Here in this space of stillness, we uncover a truth often buried beneath the noise. Silence is your source of resilience, your inner fortress amidst the storms of chaos and pressure. I'm speaking to you directly, yes, you who feels the weight of expectations, the sting of failure, or the clamor of doubt. Right now you might be reeling from a setback or standing in the eye of a crisis. But let me tell you something, within your silence lies a power that no storm can touch. Let's unearth it together. Imagine yourself as an athlete once celebrated, now standing in the shadow of defeat. The stadium that once echoed with cheers now hums with criticism. Your latest loss, a missed shot, a faltering stride, has become the headline of every conversation. Social media burns with harsh words, washed up, overrated. Friends and fans alike question your grit. The noise is deafening, a storm tearing at your spirit. You feel the urge to lash out, to defend yourself, to prove them wrong with words. But instead you stop. You choose silence. You retreat to a quiet corner of your life, a dimly lit gym at dawn, the rhythmic thud of your sneakers on a treadmill, the only sound. Here, away from the chatter, you rebuild. Each bead of sweat becomes a brick in the wall of your renewed confidence. You don't argue with the critics. You don't post fiery rebuttals. You let your actions speak. In the stillness, you hear your own heartbeat steady and sure, reminding you who you are. You visualize every move, every play, until doubt dissolves like mist under the rising sun. Weeks later, when you step back onto the field, the storm of criticism still lingers, but you stand tall, a mountain unshaken. Your performance silences the noise. You've won not with words, but with the quiet strength forged in solitude. The lesson here is raw, and real silence is not surrender. It is strategy. Like a mountain enduring a storm, your stillness allows you to weather the harshest winds of judgment. It gives you space to rebuild, to refocus, to rise. The takeaway is clear: silence transforms chaos into clarity, turning external pressure into internal power. Now place yourself in the shoes of a leader during a crisis. Your team is in disarray, a project has derailed, deadlines loom, and panic ripples through the room like wildfire. Voices clash, fingers point, and fear fuels impulsive decisions. Everyone looks to you for answers, their urgency pressing against your chest like a physical weight. The storm is here, chaotic and loud, threatening to sweep you away. Your instinct screams to react, to shout orders, to match their frenzy with your own. But you don't. You pause, you breathe, you embrace silence. In that moment of quiet, you step back mentally, even as the room buzzes with tension. You center yourself, letting the noise wash over you without penetrating your core. Like a mountain standing firm in a gale, you refuse to be moved by the chaos. You listen not to the clamor, but to the quiet voice within that knows the next step. Then, with a calm that cuts through the panic, you speak. Your words are few, deliberate, a steady hand guiding a ship through rough seas. Your team, sensing your composure, begins to mirror it. The crisis isn't solved overnight, but your silence has shifted the tide. It has turned a mob of fear into a unit of focus. Days later, as solutions emerge, they credit your calm as the anchor that held them together. Here lies the truth. Silence is your shield in a storm of crisis. It doesn't just protect you, it empowers those around you. Like the mountain, your stillness becomes a beacon of strength, proving that true leadership isn't in reaction, but in restraint. The takeaway resonates: silence is the bedrock of resilience, the power that endures when everything else falters. Let's dive deeper into this silent strength. Silence is not a void. It is a fortress invisible to the eye, but impenetrable to chaos. Think about it. How often have you let the noise of the world dictate your actions? How many times have you reacted in haste only to regret the words or choices that followed? The storms of life, criticism, failure, urgency, thrive on your impulsiveness. They want you to flinch, to crumble, to let their fury sweep you away. But when you choose silence, you deny them that victory. Picture yourself as that mountain rooted in the earth, storms raging around you. The winds of doubt howl, the rain of pressure falls, yet you remain. Silence is your granite, your unyielding core. It is in the quiet that you hear the whispers of your own wisdom, the truths that noise drowns out. As Napoleon Hill once wrote in Think and Grow, rich strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle. Silence is where you find the strength to endure that struggle. It is where you process pain, not as a wound, but as a whetstone sharpening your resolve. In stillness, you transform chaos into clarity, pressure into purpose. So ask yourself, when did you last stand still long enough to hear your own strength? Consider another image, a river deep and steady flowing beneath the surface of a raging storm. Above the world is chaos, thunder roars, waves crash, but below the current moves with quiet determination, unaffected by the turmoil. That river is your silence, a hidden force that carries you forward, even when the surface of your life is in disarray. How often do you overlook this inner current, distracted by the storms above? How many times have you let external noise drown out the steady flow of your own resilience? Silence is not just about refusing to speak, it's about refusing to be swayed. It's about anchoring yourself in a deeper truth when the world demands a shallow reaction. In The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle reminds us, stillness is the only thing in this world that has no form. But then it is not really a thing, and it is not of this world. Silence then is your bridge to something timeless, a power that exists beyond the chaos of the moment. It allows you to step back to see the storm for what it is, temporary. In that quiet space, you find the resilience to endure, the clarity to act, and the strength to stand like a mountain unshaken by the winds of pressure. So pause now, feel that river within you, let it carry you through. How do you harness this strength of stillness in your own life? It begins with intention. When chaos strikes, be it a flood of criticism or a crisis demanding reaction, pause, yes, stop right there. Take a breath deep and deliberate, as if you're drawing strength from the earth itself. Close your eyes if you must, and for just 10 seconds, shut out the noise. Feel your feet on the ground, your heartbeat steady like a mountain's core. This is your first step to resilience. Next, create a physical or mental space for silence daily. It could be 5 minutes in the morning, sitting with a cup of coffee, no phone, no distractions, just you and your thoughts. Or it could be a quiet walk where you let the world fade and listen to your inner voice. Use this time to reflect. What pressures are storming around you? What truths do you need to remember? Write down one thought that anchors you, a reminder of your strength. When the noise returns, carry this anchor with you. Silence isn't passive, it's a deliberate act of power. Build it into your day and watch how it transforms pressure into purpose. Here's another tool to wield silence as your weapon. Learn to respond, not react. When the storm of criticism or chaos hits, your first instinct might be to fight back or flee. Don't. Instead, embrace a moment of stillness. Count to 5 before you speak or act. In those 5 seconds, ask yourself, will this reaction serve my purpose or will it feed the storm? Often you'll find that silence is the most powerful response. Practice this in small moments first. When a harsh email lands in your inbox, don't reply immediately. Step away, breathe, and return when your mind is a mountain, steady, unshaken. When a heated argument brews, let silence be your shield. Let it give you space to choose words that build rather than break. Over time, this habit becomes your strength. As Stephen R. Covey wrote in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. That space is silence. Use it. It's your secret to enduring any storm with resilience and grace. We've journeyed through the heart of stillness, uncovering the profound truth that silence is your source of resilience and inner power amidst chaos and pressure. You've stood as an athlete rebuilding in the quiet after defeat, and as a leader anchoring a team through crisis with calm resolve. You've seen silence as a mountain unshaken by storms, and as a river flowing steady beneath the surface of turmoil. The takeaway is undeniable: silence is not weakness. It is the strength that endures when everything else falters. So as you move forward, remember this: when the world roars, when pressure mounts, when chaos threatens to uproot you, stand firm. Embrace the stillness within. Let it be your fortress, your anchor, your guide. We're not done yet. There's more to uncover about how silence shapes success in ways the noise can never touch. But for now, carry this truth with you and let it root you deep. Final mantra: stand as the mountain. Let silence be your strength. Beneath the surface of the earth in the suffocating dark, a seed waits. It does not cry out for light. It does not demand to be seen. It simply endures, splitting its shell in silence, reaching for unseen depths before it dares to pierce the soil. This is the secret of growth, the unspoken truth of mastery. Silence is your sanctuary, your forge, your hidden strength. You too must learn to cultivate your greatness away from the spotlight, to build in the quiet where no one watches, to grow roots before you seek the sun. In a world obsessed with noise, endless chatter, instant validation, hollow applause, silence is your secret weapon. It is where you hone your craft, reflect on your path, and forge a strength that the world cannot shake. Are you ready to plant yourself in the dark, to trust the unseen process, to let silence nurture the mastery within you? Step into this sacred stillness. Your transformation begins here. Picture yourself as an artist, a painter with a trembling hand and a heart full of unformed visions. You sit in a cramped, dimly lit room, the walls stained with the ghosts of failed strokes. Outside, the world buzzes with voices, friends sharing their latest triumphs on social platforms, critics praising half-baked works, strangers chasing fleeting trends. The temptation to reveal your art unfinished and raw gnaws at you. Show them now, a voice whispers. Prove you're enough, but you resist. You close the door. You turn off the noise. In silence, you paint. Day after day, year after year, you wrestle with shadows and light, scraping away mistakes, layering colors no one else will see. Your hands grow steady, your vision sharpens. You're not seeking applause, you're seeking mastery. Decades pass in this quiet struggle. Friends who once mocked your absence now fall silent themselves, their quick successes fading into obscurity. Then one day you unveil your work, a canvas so alive it seems to breathe a story told in every brushstroke. The world gasps, galleries call, critics scramble to understand, but you stand unmoved. You've known this moment was coming, not because of luck, but because of the silent years you spent planting your seed in the dark. As Stephen King once wrote on writing, talent is cheaper than table salt. What separates the talented individual from the successful one is a lot of hard work. You didn't just paint, you grew. Silence was your soil and mastery your harvest. The lesson here is as old as the earth itself, like a seed germinating in hidden depths. Your greatest growth happens when no one is watching. Silence isn't just the absence of noise, it's the presence of purpose. It's where you build without distraction, where you refine without judgment. You don't need the world's eyes on you to become extraordinary. You need the courage to work in the dark until your roots are unbreakable. Now imagine yourself as a student surrounded by the chaos of youth. It's a Friday night and the air hums with laughter and music. Your peers are out there chasing fleeting thrills, their voices echoing through the streets as they trade stories of reckless abandon. You could join them. The pull is strong, a night of ease, a break from the grind. But instead you stay in. Your desk is a battlefield littered with textbooks, notes, and half-empty coffee cups. The silence of your room is heavy, almost suffocating, but it's yours. In this quiet, you study. You wrestle with concepts that refuse to click, solve problems that mock your efforts, and push through exhaustion that begs you to quit. No one sees this. No one cheers. It's just you and the work. Years later, the results speak. While others who dance through those nights stumble through exams or settle for mediocrity, you stand tall. Your grades are a testament, your knowledge a weapon. Job offers pour in opportunities others can only dream of. They ask, how did you do it? You smile, knowing the answer lies in those silent nights when you chose discipline over distraction. As Cal Newport reminds us in Deep Work, to produce at your peak level, you need to work for extended periods with full concentration on a single task, free from distraction. Silence was your ally, the dark earth, where your seed of mastery took root. You didn't just study, you transformed. The world sees the bloom, but only you know the quiet struggle beneath. This story whispers a truth: growth is not a public event. It's a private vow. Like a seed splitting in the unseen depths, your dedication in silence builds a foundation no storm can uproot. Mastery isn't born in the spotlight. It's nurtured in the quiet corners of your life where no one else dares to look. Let's step back and consider the nature of silence in your journey to mastery. Think of a mighty oak towering over a forest, its branches reaching for the heavens. Where did it begin? Not in the open field basking in sunlight, but as a tiny acorn buried in the cold, unyielding earth. It grew in darkness and silence, pushing through soil and stone with a force no one witnessed. So it is with you. The world celebrates the visible, the awards, the accolades, the polished results, but it rarely honors the silent hours that birthed them. How often have you dismissed your own progress because it wasn't seen? How many times have you craved recognition before your roots were ready? Silence is not emptiness, it's a crucible. It's the space where you confront your doubts without an audience to distract you, where you refine your skills without the pressure to perform. It's the dark earth that holds your potential, demanding patience before it releases you to the light. In silence, you learn to listen not to the noise of the world, but to the quiet voice within that knows your purpose. You learn to trust the process, to endure the unseen struggle, knowing that every silent effort is a root reaching deeper. This is where mastery is born, not in the roar of applause, but in the whisper of persistence. Embrace the dark. Let it shape you. Your time to rise will come, but only if you first grow in the quiet. Consider this: in a world that never stops speaking, silence is your rebellion. It's a fortress against the chaos, a refuge where you rebuild yourself piece by piece. Picture a river carving its way through a mountain, not with noise or haste, but with a steady, silent force that reshapes stone over centuries. That's the power of your quiet dedication. The world may rush past you, shouting its demands, flaunting its distractions, but in silence, you carve your own path. Why do you fear the quiet? Is it because it forces you to face yourself, to strip away the mask you wear for others? Silence is where you reflect, where you ask the hard questions. Am I on the right path? What must I sacrifice to grow? It's where you sift through the debris of failure and find the lessons hidden within. Like a seed in the dark, you don't need the world's permission to transform. You don't need its praise to keep going. Silence teaches you resilience, the kind that doesn't bend under scrutiny because it was forged in solitude. It's in these quiet moments that you plant the seeds of mastery, knowing they will bloom in their own time. So turn away from the noise. Step into the stillness. Let it be your sanctuary, your proving ground. The world will wait. Your growth will not. Now let's ground this in action. You want to harness silence for growth, but the world is loud and your days are crowded. Start small. Carve out a pocket of quiet each day, 10 minutes, 20 if you can manage. Turn off your devices. Shut the door. Sit with yourself, a notebook or your craft. Ask, what am I building today? Focus on one skill, one idea, one step forward. If you're learning to write, pen a single paragraph without judgment. If you're mastering a sport, visualize your technique in the stillness. Let this silence be your dark earth where no one watches but everything grows. When distractions pull at you, and they will pause, breathe. Remember the seed, it doesn't rush for the surface. It deepens its roots first. Resist the urge to share your progress prematurely. Social media can wait. Validation can wait. Your mastery cannot. Write down one reason to keep going in this quiet space and let it anchor you. Silence isn't just a break, it's a commitment. Use it to reflect on your failures without shame, to plan your next move without noise. This daily practice, though small, builds a foundation no one can shake. You're not hiding, you're growing. Trust the process. Your time to bloom is coming. Here's another step to wield silence as your weapon. Guard it fiercely. The world will try to steal your quiet, endless notifications, well-meaning interruptions, the pressure to be seen. Set boundaries. Tell those around you, this hour is mine. If you can't say it aloud, show it through action. Disappear into your work, your study, your craft. Create a space where silence reigns, a corner of your home, a park bench at dawn, even a mental space you retreat to when the noise creeps in. Protect this sanctuary as if your future depends on it. It does. When doubt strikes, and it will use silence to recalibrate. Step away from the chaos. Ask yourself, am I one step from breaking through? Often the answer is yes, but only silence reveals it. Write down 3 things you've improved in the past month, no matter how small. Let this quiet reflection remind you of your unseen growth, like roots spreading beneath the soil. As Ryan Holiday writes in Ego is the Enemy, the only way out is through. The only way through is with discipline. Silence is your discipline. Guard it, nurture it. Let it shape you into something unstoppable. The world will see your results soon enough, but only if you first grow in the unseen. You've walked through the dark earth of silence, felt its weight, and seen its power. You've witnessed the artist who painted in obscurity, transforming struggle into mastery. You've stood with the student who chose quiet dedication over fleeting thrills, reaping rewards no one could predict. You've reflected on the sanctuary of stillness, the unseen growth that shapes giants. The takeaway is clear: silence is not a void. It's the fertile ground where your mastery takes root. It's where you build, reflect, and refine away from the spotlight, trusting that your bloom will come in its own time. Like a seed germinating in the hidden depths, your greatest strength is forged in the quiet. Embrace it, protect it, let it transform you. As we move forward, prepare to explore how silence sharpens not just your skills, but your vision, how it becomes the lens through which you see your purpose. For now, hold this truth close. Plant yourself in the dark when the world demands light. Grow in the stillness when the noise beckons. Your mastery awaits beneath the surface. Grow in silence. Your bloom will shake the world. Picture a stormy night at sea, waves crashing against jagged rocks and a thick fog swallowing every shred of direction. You're lost adrift with no horizon in sight. Panic claws at your chest. What do you do? In that moment of chaos, a single beam of light pierces the haze. A lighthouse, unyielding, silent, cutting through the fog to show you the way. This, my friend, is the power of silence. In the deafening noise of doubt, confusion, and endless opinions, silence becomes your secret weapon, your beacon illuminating the path to clarity. Welcome to a journey of cutting through the fog, within the grand tapestry of the secret weapon of the successful silence. This chapter dives into how silence sharpens your decision-making, how it carves through the murk of indecision and doubt to reveal your true course. You felt it before, that suffocating weight of too many voices, too many choices, too much noise. But today you'll learn to step back to quiet the storm and to let silence guide you to decisions that resonate with unshakable certainty. Feel the urgency. The fog is thick, but your lighthouse awaits. Are you ready to see through it? Imagine yourself as an entrepreneur sitting in a boardroom where voices clash like thunder. Your startup, the dream you've poured your soul into, teeters on the edge of collapse. Investors demand one strategy. Your team pushes another, and social media buzzes with 1,000 opinions on what you should do next. The noise is a storm, and you're caught in its center, drowning in arguments. Your heart races. Doubt creeps in. Should you pivot? Should you push forward? Should you give up? The fog of confusion blinds you, and every choice feels like a gamble with your future. Then you do something radical. You stand up. You walk out. Not in defeat, but in defiance of the chaos. You find a quiet corner, a small coffee shop down the street, and sit alone with nothing but a notebook and the hum of your own thoughts. Silence wraps around you like a shield. You breathe. You let the noise of the boardroom fade. In that stillness, questions emerge not from others, but from within. What does your vision demand? What is the one move that aligns with your core? As the fog lifts, an idea sparks a bold pivot, a solution no one in that heated room could have seen. It's a merger with a smaller competitor, a move that saves costs and expands your reach. You return to the boardroom not with hesitation, but with a plan forged in quiet certainty. That silence, that deliberate retreat, became your lighthouse, cutting through the fog of indecision to illuminate a path forward. The lesson here is clear: when the storm of external voices threatens to drown you, silence is your anchor. It pierces the confusion, guiding you to decisions that are yours alone, untainted by the chaos of others. As we'll explore, this act of stepping into silence is not retreat, it's a recalibration, a return to your own truth. Now picture yourself at a crossroads that could redefine your entire life. You've been offered a high-paying job in a city far from home, a role that promises stability and prestige. But it means leaving behind a passion project, a small business, a creative endeavor, something that lights your soul on fire but offers no guarantees. Friends weigh in with practical advice. Take the job. Be secure. Family adds their own layer. Think of the future. Don't risk it all. Online forums and self-help gurus offer endless pros and cons. The noise is relentless, a fog so thick you can't see your own desires anymore. Do you choose safety or risk stability or soul? Every voice pulls you in a different direction, and doubt becomes a heavy chain around your neck. In desperation, you escape. You drive to a quiet park at dawn where the world is still asleep. No phone, no notifications, just the rustle of leaves and the rhythm of your breath. Silence settles over you like a soft tide. You close your eyes and ask yourself one question. What do I truly want, not what others expect? Not what fear dictates, but what calls to the deepest part of you. In that stillness, the answer emerges like a beam of light through the haze. You realize the job, while safe, would extinguish the fire of your passion. You choose the risk, the uncertainty, because it's the path that feels like home. That decision, born in silence, becomes the cornerstone of a life you build on your own terms. Here, silence acted as your lighthouse, slicing through the fog of external pressures to reveal your inner compass. It's a reminder that clarity often hides not in the clamor of advice, but in the quiet space where you can hear your own voice. This is the takeaway we'll carry forward. Silence doesn't just quiet the noise, it sharpens your vision. Let's pause and reflect. Confusion, doubt, indecision. These are not enemies to be feared. They are the fog that tests your resolve. Think of a ship navigating treacherous waters. The fog obscures the horizon, but it forces the captain to rely on instinct, on the tools of navigation, on an inner sense of direction. So too does silence become your tool when the fog of life rolls in. It's not about avoiding the haze, it's about learning to cut through it. Silence is the lighthouse beam that doesn't just show you the way, it teaches you to trust your own eyes. How often have you let the noise of others cloud your judgment? How many times have you ignored that quiet whisper within because the shouting of the world was louder? The successful know this truth. Silence is not emptiness. It's a space of creation. It's where you strip away the layers of expectation and fear to uncover the raw, unpolished truth of what you must do. Like a sculptor chiseling away at stone, silence removes the excess, revealing the masterpiece of your decision beneath. In moments of doubt, it's not more information you need, it's less distraction. It's the courage to stand in the fog, to quiet the storm, and to let your inner light guide you. Consider the lighthouse itself, a structure of unyielding strength, standing firm against the fiercest storms. It doesn't shout, it doesn't argue, it simply shines, piercing the fog with a silent, steady beam. This is the power of stillness in your own life. When confusion swirls around you, when doubt threatens to capsize your resolve, silence is your foundation. It's not passive, it's a deliberate act of strength. You choose to step back. You choose to listen. You choose to let clarity emerge from the quiet. Have you ever noticed how the most powerful decisions often come after moments of pause? The world glorifies speed. Act, now decide fast, keep moving. But speed without direction is chaos. Silence, on the other hand, is the compass that aligns your actions with purpose. As Lao Tzu once said, silence is a source of great strength. It's in the stillness that you forge your resolve, that you see through the fog of uncertainty to the path that was always there waiting for you to notice it. Embrace the stillness. Let it be your lighthouse, unwavering, cutting through the haze until your way is clear. Now let's get practical. You don't need a secluded island or a mountaintop to harness the power of silence. You can create it right where you are, even in the midst of chaos. When confusion or doubt clouds your mind, follow these steps to cut through the fog. First, remove yourself from the noise physically if possible. Step away from the argument, the notifications, the endless chatter. Find a space where you can be alone, even if it's just for 10 minutes. A quiet room, a park bench, a corner of your office with the door closed. Claim that space as your lighthouse. Second, breathe with intention. Close your eyes and take 5 deep breaths, focusing only on the rhythm of air moving in and out. This isn't meditation, it's a reset. Let each breath wash away the noise until you feel the stillness settle. Finally, ask yourself one guiding question. What is the truth of this moment, not what others want? Not what fear suggests, but what aligns with your core. Write down the first thought that comes. Don't overthink it. Trust that silence has illuminated the answer. This simple practice can transform a moment of indecision into a stepping stone of clarity. Use it. Your path awaits. Sometimes the loudest noise isn't from the world, it's from within. Your inner critic, that voice of doubt, can create a fog thicker than any external opinion. Here's how to quiet it with silence. When you're wrestling with a decision and self-doubt creeps in, pause. Don't argue with the voice. Don't feed it with more thoughts. Instead, ground yourself in the present. Focus on something tangible, your breath, the feel of your feet on the floor, the sound of a distant hum. Let silence drown out the critic by giving it no space to speak. Next, redirect your focus to one truth you know about yourself. Maybe it's a past success, a strength you've shown, or a value you hold dear. Hold that truth like a lantern in the fog. Let it remind you that you are capable of clarity, even when doubt screams otherwise. Finally, act. Make the decision, however small, from this place of quiet confidence. As Brené Brown reminds us, courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. Silence helps you show up not for the critic, but for your own vision. Practice this and watch how the fog of self-doubt dissipates under the beam of your inner light. Let's end this exploration with a final reflection. Silence is not a temporary fix. It's an eternal beacon, a lighthouse that stands through every storm of life. The fog of confusion will always return new decisions, new doubts, new voices clamoring for your attention. But silence remains your constant. It's the tool the successful wield when the world grows loud, when the path grows dim. Think of every great mind, every inventor, leader, artist who stepped away from the crowd to create in quiet. As Napoleon Hill wrote in Think and Grow Rich, success comes to those who become success conscious. And consciousness, my friend, is born in silence. What would your life look like if you trusted silence as your guide? What decisions could you make if you let the fog be a teacher, not a barrier? Silence doesn't just cut through confusion, it builds a bridge to your highest potential. It's a space where you remember who you are, where you see the path that was always meant for you. Stand in that space. Let it illuminate your way, not just today, but for every storm to come. As we close this chapter on cutting through the fog, let's anchor ourselves in the profound truth we've uncovered. Silence sharpens decision-making and clarity in moments of confusion or doubt. It is your lighthouse piercing the haze of indecision, external noise, and inner turmoil to reveal the path that aligns with your deepest truth. You've seen it in the entrepreneur who stepped away from chaos to forge a groundbreaking solution. You've felt it in the person at a life-altering crossroads who silenced the world to hear their own voice. And you've learned how to wield it through deliberate pauses, intentional stillness, and trust in your inner light. Remember, the fog will return. Life's storms are relentless, but you now hold the secret weapon of the successful silence. It's not just a tool, it's a way of being, a commitment to clarity over chaos. As we prepare to journey deeper into the power of silence in the next chapter, carry this lesson with you. Let it be your guide when the haze thickens. Stand firm, quiet the noise, and trust the beam of your own stillness to show you the way. Final mantra, stand in silence. Let your lighthouse shine. Picture a blacksmith at his forge hammer, raise the air thick with heat and the scent of molten iron. He pauses, not out of hesitation, but with purpose. In that silent moment before the strike, intention gathers like a storm. The power isn't in the swing alone. It's in the quiet resolve that shapes it. So it is with you. In the chaos of life where words clash and emotions flare, have you ever considered the strength of holding back? The unspoken holds a force that can transform your relationships, redefine your leadership, and carve the path to lasting success. This is the secret weapon of the successful silence. Not the silence of weakness, but the silence of power. The pause before the strike that changes everything. Step into this truth with me. Feel the weight of what's unsaid and let it forge you into something unbreakable. Welcome to the heart of our journey through the secret weapon of the successful silence. Here in this space, we celebrate the impact of silence in action. It's not about hiding or shrinking. It's about wielding quiet as a tool of transformation. You felt it, haven't you? That moment when words fail but presence speaks. That instant when restraint wins respect. Let's uncover how silence, like the blacksmith's pause, becomes the foundation of your greatest victories. Are you ready to harness the unspoken? Imagine a boardroom, the air crackling with tension. Voices rise, accusations fly, and egos collide like thunderheads in a storm. You're the manager at the head of the table, feeling the heat of every eye on you. Your team is fracturing over a missed deadline, fingers pointing, tempers flaring. Every instinct screams to defend yourself, to match shout, for shout to prove your worth with a barrage of words. But you don't. You sit still. You breathe. You let the storm rage around you, your silence a granite wall against the chaos. Minutes pass, and slowly the noise ebbs. Eyes turn to you, not with anger, but with curiosity. What will you say? And then, in a measured tone, you speak just a few words, acknowledging the frustration, redirecting focus to a solution. The room shifts. Respect settles like dust after a gale. Your restraint didn't just calm the moment, it rebuilt trust. This is silence in action. You didn't react. You responded. You didn't lash out. You led. Like the blacksmith pausing before the strike, your quiet gathered intention, and when you acted, it was with precision. The lesson here is clear: silence isn't surrender. It's the space where true authority is born. In that boardroom, your unspoken strength spoke louder than any argument ever could. You earned something no outburst could buy: respect. And isn't that the cornerstone of lasting success in leadership? The takeaway resonates: silence, when wielded with purpose, transforms conflict into connection, chaos into clarity. Now picture a different scene. A close friend sits across from you, their eyes hollow, their shoulders slumped under the weight of grief. They've lost someone dear, and the pain radiates from them like heat from a dying fire. Words bubble up in your throat, clumsy attempts at comfort, stories of it'll get better, advice they didn't ask for. But something stops you. Instead of speaking, you sit closer. You rest a hand on their shoulder. You let the silence stretch between you, heavy but warm, like a shared blanket on a cold night. No platitudes, no fixes, just presence. Minutes pass, maybe hours, and slowly they begin to speak. Not because you prompted them, but because your quiet made space for their pain. Tears fall, stories spill, and in that unspoken bond, something deepens. You've not just listened, you've held their sorrow with them. Here, silence became your gift. Like the blacksmith's pause, it was the intention before the strike. Your presence was the action that mattered most. You didn't need to fill the void with noise. Your stillness spoke of love louder than words ever could. The lesson shines through in relationships. Silence can be the bridge that words cannot build. It fosters trust, heals wounds, and binds hearts. This is the power of the unspoken, a force that nurtures lasting connection. And as we'll see, this aligns with our core takeaway: silence, when chosen with care, transforms moments of pain into pillars of strength. Let's step back and reflect. What is it about silence that wields such power in our interactions? Consider the blacksmith again, his hammer poised above the glowing steel. That pause isn't empty. It's alive with focus, with vision. So too is silence in your life. In a world obsessed with noise, endless chatter, instant replies, the clamor for attention, silence stands as a rebellion. It's not the absence of sound, it's the presence of purpose. When you choose not to speak in a heated moment, you're not retreating. You're forging influence. You're shaping how others see you, how they feel your strength. Think about it. How many times have you been swayed by someone who spoke less but meant more? How often has a quiet presence left a deeper mark than a loud declaration? Silence transforms leadership because it forces others to lean in. It compels them to listen when you do speak. It turns relationships into sacred ground where trust grows in the spaces between words. This isn't about being mute. It's about being mighty. Like a river cutting through stone, silence works slowly but surely, carving paths of respect and understanding. It's the unspoken that often leaves the lasting imprint. So ask yourself, where in your life are you speaking when you could be shaping? Where could your pause become the strike that changes everything? Dive deeper with me. Silence isn't just a tool, it's a mirror. When you hold back words, you create a space for reflection, not just for others, but for yourself. In that boardroom, when you chose not to react, didn't you see your own strength reflected back? In that moment with your grieving friend, didn't your quiet reveal the depth of your compassion? Silence strips away the noise of impulse and lays bare who you are. It's a forge, yes, but also a looking glass. It shows you what you're made of, and in turn it shows others the same. Have you ever noticed how discomfort with silence often reveals discomfort with yourself? The urge to fill every gap with words, isn't that a fear of facing what's beneath? This is why silence is the secret weapon of the successful. It's not just about external impact, it's about internal transformation. Like the blacksmith's pause, it's the moment before the strike where you align with your truest self. You see your flaws, your fears, but also your power. And in relationships and leadership, that authenticity becomes your greatest asset. Success isn't built on noise, it's built on truth. So pause, look into the mirror of the unspoken. What do you see? And more importantly, what will you forge from it? Now let's turn philosophy into action. You've seen how silence can transform a heated moment, like in that boardroom clash. But how do you wield it when emotions run high? Here's a clear path. First, when conflict erupts, whether at work, with family, or within yourself, stop. Breathe deeply for 5 seconds. Let the storm of words or thoughts swirl without joining it. This isn't avoidance, it's grounding. Second, assess. Ask yourself, will my words right now build or break? If the answer isn't clear, stay silent a moment longer. Third, if you must speak, let your words be few, but heavy with intention. Think of them as the blacksmith's strike, precise, powerful, purposeful. This practice isn't easy, but it's effective. As Stephen R. Covey wrote in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Silence is your tool to understand. It buys you time to listen, to think, to choose. Try it the next time tension flares. Pause. Let the unspoken do its work. You'll find that respect often follows restraint, and solutions emerge from stillness. This is how silence transforms conflict into opportunity, paving the way for lasting success in leadership and beyond. Relationships too demand the power of silence. You've felt it with that grieving friend. Sometimes presence speaks louder than advice. So how do you cultivate this? Start by listening without agenda. When someone shares their pain or joy, resist the urge to fix or comment. Just be there. Nod, hold space. Let your silence say, I see you. Next, when tempted to fill awkward pauses, don't. Embrace them. Those quiet moments often invite deeper truths to surface. Finally, reflect before responding. Ask yourself, does this person need my words or my warmth? More often than not, it's the latter. As Dale Carnegie noted in How to Win Friends and Influence People, to be interesting, be interested. Silence shows interest. It builds trust. Practice this today. Sit with someone in quiet companionship. Watch how it deepens your bond. This is silence in action, transforming relationships into unshakable foundations. It's the unspoken that often cements the most enduring connections, aligning with our journey toward lasting success. One final thought before we close. Silence isn't just a moment, it's a seed. Every time you choose the unspoken over the impulsive, you plant something: respect in a team, trust in a friend, strength in yourself. These seeds grow into a legacy. Think of the leaders you admire, the relationships that endure. Isn't it often their restraint, their quiet confidence that lingers in your memory? Like the blacksmith's pause, silence shapes what lasts. It's the intention before the strike that ensures the steel holds true. Success isn't loud. It's not in the applause or the arguments won. It's in the quiet choices, the unspoken resolve that builds something enduring. Napoleon Hill once said in Think and Grow Rich, strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle. Silence is part of that effort. It's the struggle to hold back, to wait, to act with purpose. So ask yourself, what legacy are you planting with your silence today? How will the unspoken shape the story of your life? We've walked through the forge of the unspoken together, witnessing its power to transform. From the manager who earned respect through restraint to the friend whose quiet presence healed a wounded heart, we've seen how silence reshapes relationships and redefines leadership. We've reflected on its role as a mirror, a forge, and a seed, each pause a moment of intention before the strike, each quiet choice a step toward lasting success. The takeaway stands firm. Silence, when wielded with purpose, is not just a weapon, but a builder of bridges, a shaper of legacies. As you move forward, carry this truth with you. Let silence be your strength, your strategy, your sanctuary. In the noise of the world, it will set you apart. And as we prepare to explore further dimensions of this secret weapon in the chapters ahead, remember the blacksmith's pause. Let it guide your every action, your every connection. Forge your path with intention. Strike only when it matters. Final mantra: pause with purpose, strike with power.